Hey to all those seeking vibrant health. It's Dr. Rachel Northern here at Johnsburg Chiropractic and Wellness Center here in Johnsburg. And this is fall. So this is my annual fall talk about detoxification. So I always recommend for the last 20 years to do a detoxification program. So recently I'm suggesting to do it twice a year. So generally we promote it in the spring and in the fall. So fall time, because usually you've had a lot of those hot dogs at barbecues and whatever fun things you like to do during the summer, and that just kind of accumulates being outside and getting exposed to maybe chemicals um, in our environment. It's not the best, and we're going to go a little bit more details about that. So I'm just going to carry on and tell you why. So first off, why should we do a detox? We're going to get into that. Why now? Like I just said, this is a great time. We're going to start to ease into the holiday season. It's a good time to reset, give that little liver a little scrub and help it get all the junk out that's accumulated. Your liver's kind of like that oil filter that's accumulating some toxins, and we want to just kind of let it have some room to clear out the toxins that we're always exposed to. And, why you? Because we're all living in this unfortunately toxic world. We're going to have some slides ahead to show you that. And so why you are, and why symptoms? We'll talk about some symptoms that maybe say, why me? So first off, this is one start. Why? We're pretty much our society, our healthcare system's crashing and burning. We are in a serious crisis, and I've been talking about this for years, but it has not gotten better. It has definitely gotten worse. The ER rooms are overfilled with sick people, and we are just a chronically sick society at this point. Our obesity rates are over a third of our population is overweight, and with overweight, you're inflamed. And part of overweight is whatever foods you're eating, whatever things you're being exposed to, could cause problems. So are you living in this house? Are you not feeling good in this body you have? Is it having problems? Are you in crisis state? Or, are you comfortably numb where you just ignore your body and don't even want to pay attention to what's going on, that this is going on? So, right now it's the top, right now and for the last couple decades, the top killers in America, you probably know, is, heart disease. It kills, 25% of American population. I think it's easing a little bit even more, but that's between heart attacks, strokes, and any other vascular diseases that you might have. Clots, right now the throwing clots is very possible or high in statistically we're having that. So cancer, as you know, all kinds of organ cancers. We can pretty much have cancer of every part of our body. And how do we clear that? Liver is responsible for helping clear out abnormal cells that are produced. It helps fight that off. Obviously, accidents are occurring. We can't, that's just part of life. But, we got respiratory diseases, the rise of COPD and breathing disorders, emphysema, and then, or you mentioned stroke, brain dementia, and Alzheimer's is on the rise, and also diabetes, extremely, high right now in our society. So all these things are not getting better. There is no change. And you have to take responsibility of your body and what you can do to maybe try to prevent these things from happening to you. So detoxification is one way to do that. It's one way to help your body cleanse and heal and be better and perform at its optimal. So this is like just an overview. It's a slide from one of our books, and our detox books, and it's just talking about all the things that we're exposed to. Unless you're living in a bubble and not exposed to this world, you're going to be exposed to air and water pollutants. We have preservatives and additives in pretty much all our foods, especially if you're buying packaged foods. Unless you're growing your stuff, and even if you're growing your stuff, you're getting exposed. That's getting air pollutants on the plants that are in the air. So we had this summer, we had those wildfires come, the fire in Canada, you saw that in the air. People are like, how does it travel that far? It does. All that stuff travels in the air. So we had lots of problems with that this summer, springtime. And, cleaning products you might be using, they might be toxic to you that you got in your own house. We've been really good in our society of sealing up our houses to make sure we have efficiency of our air conditioning and our heat, but unfortunately, then we're not letting air breathe. And so that's leaving toxins, and we're having increase in mold in our houses because we're not letting things be able the house to breathe. Cigarette smoke, vaping, all those that are voluntarily things that people are doing. Dyes that we have in things, even in tattoos, I've heard of that, sometimes can get into your bloodstream and cause toxic effects. Personal skincare products that we have that we put on our skin. I just took a female hormone seminar, and she was talking about all these products that say they make your skin soft, that most of the time they put actually hormones in them, and that actually can throw off your hormones and cause problems, and maybe like cause cancer or other things, but definitely could throw off your thyroid, could throw off your female hormones, could throw off even male hormones for men that put like a balm on their face. So we absorb anything we put on our skin, absorbs and does go into our bloodstream, because guess what? It goes to the liver, and the liver has to process it. So the typical things, heavy metals that we're exposed to, just in general society. So we get a lot of stuff. So here's it. This is a common thing. This is pretty much America diet, right? We got fast food. We got the quick foods that you just microwave. We got the chemicals under the sink. We have the food dyes, the greasy trans fat, the colors. And then just even if you are on a prescription medication that you need to take, the liver still is responsible for helping you metabolize that and get it out so it doesn't accumulate in your system. So even if you're on a medication, it's really important to just help your liver along. Okay, so here's some common problems that you might notice if you think you are having issues with toxins. I'm just going to say everybody's got toxins at this point, so that's why I suggest everybody should do it. If I had to put an age limit on it, I would say for our programs that we're suggesting here, I would say 12 and older. But anybody younger than that could still eat the low-carb Mediterranean diet that we suggest. So that healthy diet, avoiding a lot of these these foods that are not good for us. So fatigue, this is common. I hear this a lot. Everybody's tired. Are you sick and tired of being tired? So just fatigue, that just weighs on your body. Every time I do this purification thing, I always get like halfway into it, and I'm like, I feel so much energy. Why don't I just do this all the time? And why don't I eat like this all the time? And it's just, I live in this society too, and I'm slowly bad stuff creeps into my life as well. So it does help you pick up your energy, help your body work more efficiently. It helps. Definitely people tend to lose weight on it. I'm not a big fan of losing weight just to lose weight for a diet. I want people to have a lifestyle change and eat healthier and have optimal health. And when you have optimal health, you just naturally lose weight. And this does help you kind of reset and helps you. Does a lot of people lose weight if you're needing to lose weight. I personally, have a pretty good where I'm at on my body balance of fat and everything. So I generally try not to lose weight on it myself, but I still feel better. So that's that. It reduces. A lot of people just can't think, got the foggy brain. So there's fatigue, and then you have the foggy brain, or you just trouble concentrating, trouble getting things done. Trouble with multitasking or task switching. Now we know that's actually what we're doing. Anything like that, you just can't, like, you go into a room and forget what you're doing. Like, that could help just free up some energy for the brain. If you have breakouts, just skin problems, again, it kind of does help with the resetting hormones and clearing out excess hormones in your body as well, because your liver is responsible for that. And then achiness and inflammation through your body, your joints, your spine, your back, like that. This is like a low, like anti-inflammatory diet as well that helps with this. So sometimes we can just help reset like some of this inflammation. So a lot of times I'll have people who are just inflamed, and I say, let's just do the purification or detox diet for a couple of weeks and see how you feel. And it's amazing how they're like, oh my gosh, my knees don't hurt anymore. And all I did was change my diet. Yes, that is definitely a possibility. So overview of, what makes us healthy. So I always like to go back to like these 5 points. We want the body, try to focus on trying to get the body optimally functional, all body systems working efficiently and communicating properly. So optimizing what we're putting into our body. So as a chiropractor, first off, I just make sure the nervous system is optimally communicating, making sure all your breakers are on, all the nerves are communicating effectively, because I have so many people sometimes that come in as a new patient and they're like, oh yeah, I have acid reflux or I have heartburn, and then we'll do a course of care, and when I do my re-exam, they forget about the heartburn, they stopped having it, and a lot of times they've had maybe a subluxation or misalignment in low back, in their mid back, where that nerve to the stomach goes, and I just help that communicate better, and magically their acid reflux, and they didn't change anything else in their lifestyle. So it went away, and it's like they forget about it because when we take for granted when we're feeling normal and better. And I'm guilty of that too. I went in my chiropractor the other day and they're like, oh, how was that one thing? And I was like, oh yeah, I forgot. I don't have it anymore. So I'm like, thank you. You helped me with that. So we take for granted when we feel good. But when we don't feel good, we're just focused on it, of course. So making sure you get adjusted is one thing. Optimizing nutrition in your body. What are you fueling your body with? What are you putting into your system? And that's what's the great thing about the Detox program, is we're trying to teach you, reset you onto putting good nutrients in and having you eliminate the bad stuff and figuring out what that is. And also when you exit, kind of want to go off that, then you also really see the difference when you add something in and you're like, my body doesn't like that. I right away have a reaction. So optimizing, this makes you healthy, optimizing your nutrition, not just calorie, like everybody focuses on the number of calories. It's what the quality of the calories is important. Reducing the toxins that you're got going in, avoiding those as much as you can. Obviously, you can't live in a bubble, like I said, but do the best you can. The body needs movement, so exercise, trying to make sure you're getting that 21 minutes. I think that's the last research study I saw, 20 minutes of some kind of movement activity, trying to sweat just a little bit, at least 5 days a week. And that is what they're saying, is that's a good health indicator. It helps keep you in the health zone. And healthy mindset, making sure that you're not focusing on the negative. And today I've had a crazy day, and I had a lot of things I'm doing, and I was like in a negative spiral, and we actually did a little walk around the office and shook off all the bad stuff and started affirming, like saying things that are positive, and just had us reset and reset my mind, because I wanted to make sure I'm on a healthy place when I interact with patients and people like you. I want to make sure I'm in a good place and coming from a good place, because I really do care and I really do want to help people. And so focusing on what's important and letting the other things fall away. So, one thing, keeping it simple. I've had a lot of people go, I don't want to do that, it's too complicated. I've done so many different versions of this diet, and so we've tried to make it as simple as possible and compliant as possible. Through the years, they've actually improved the shakes tremendously. 20 years ago, they were nasty green shakes, and you really had to doctor them up, but I still did it anyway. But now we have chocolate and vanilla. We have all kinds of stuff. So we have lots of different flavors, and we kind of just made it really simple, and keep it so it's easy to do. Sticking with like a low carb Mediterranean style diet, and so we give you a handout of like what foods are on that, and that is actually tried into now. Last couple seminars I went to, they were saying this is the diet that helps people. This is the diet that's best for us. Over and over again, it's been proven. I just went to another seminar that said, talking about fibromyalgia, and they said low carb Mediterranean diet was the one that was helping fibromyalgia patients most. So every time I go somewhere, this one's been validated. So we have shakes, and we have simple shakes, and then we have some supplements that helps stimulate scrubbing the liver, and then also really important foods that are important to help the liver package this stuff up is Brussels sprouts and kale and these cruciferous greens. And so we actually have that in a pill, because some people don't like eating that all the time and maybe have problems with digesting that. So we actually have that in pill form. So we have a lot of these herbs and things in pill form, and you can take those, and then just like a basic multi-nutrient with some antioxidants as well to help with that, help the body too during this time. So also I have people, and they want to do this perfectly, and that's putting a lot of stress on yourself. I remember there's been many times I was like day 3 into the purification and I'm like, I just want a cracker or I just want like something. I'm a crunchy person. So I try to make sure I have crunchy, like dry crunchy stuff. So I actually found dried chickpeas one time and I was like, oh, all right, dried chickpeas. I'm crunchy. But still I can be on the diet. And so, but I caved in and I had a couple crackers and it was like, it's okay. I didn't like screw up my whole life and screw up the whole thing. So it's progress, just trying to make change, trying to make a difference and then paying attention to my body and honoring it. And occasionally I'd cave and have a piece of chocolate. I'm like, I just gotta have this, so whatever. So it's like just trying to do the best you can. And that's the thing. If you do the best you can, and even if you did it like 80, 85%, you're still doing better and helping that liver along and helping clean it out. So, it's just like I like the tiers of doing, good, better, best. If you've never done this before, that's fine. Do the best you can. If you have to stumble, you have to quit for a day and then go back the next day. But the main thing is following through with the whole program, even if you have to add a couple of days in, and I'll tell you why in a little bit here. And then just make the commitment. Like I tell people, when they're wanting to do this program, look at your calendar and set yourself for success. Look at your calendar, make sure you don't have any birthdays, barbecues, Christmas parties, whatever, anything that might cause a huge temptation to make you fail. So that way, so look at it and have where you can find a little way of getting 10 days in, 10 to 14 days. We're going to talk about mostly 10 today, but 10 days just where you can commit to this program and then also get some support. If you can get somebody to partner with you, you're going to have a higher success with that. So the purpose of Detox is to remove like a toxin burden. Like I said, that liver actually is like that filter in your car. You have to go get your oil changed. Well, your liver doesn't get changed. We have to make sure to give it nutrients to help it get cleared. So your liver is responsible for eliminating toxins that accumulate from our diet and lifestyle, as we talked before. So the other purpose is to restore. So all those foods I'm talking about, the healthy stuff, the things that are in the shakes, the things that are in the pills, this low-carb Mediterranean diet that's trying to rebuild maybe your gut health. Like now you've got really toxins that are irritating, and now can give you food to help rebuild like your digestive tract to be better and stronger and give you good probiotics naturally and prebiotics and just help you overall with that. And then also, to revitalize. So just make sure not only that the structure there is there, but like I said, all those guys playing in that. And then also it helps your nervous system. It helps everything. Just like I said, you can think better. That foggy brain goes away. Fatigue comes down. Now it doesn't happen the first 2 or 3 days because usually you're eliminating those toxins. So sometimes you feel a little bit worse before it gets better. And that's actually a good thing. That means it's working because you want to get that junk out. So what's nice about this program is we talked about, most of our society is carb loaded and we're dumping a lot of sugar, maybe you're just not like, I don't eat sugar, but you're eating French fries or, potatoes or, white rice or, breads, all those crackers, those snacky stuff. that dumps a lot of stuff, lots of those carbs, and that dumps a lot of insulin. And most people then also are eating too much carbs and, not enough proteins. So I'm talking about the refined, like not nutrient dense carbs. And so, most of the time, every history I've done, most of the time people aren't doing enough protein. And I'll admit myself, I struggle with this myself. I try to make sure I get protein. I'm always like, okay, where is my protein? Asking myself that question on a regular basis. This diet is getting you tuned in to all the good carbs, the good proteins, and also your good omega-3s. Omega-3s is your natural anti-inflammatory, and you want that sweet spot in there to try to make sure that those what feed your nervous system, feed your skin, feeds all that good turnover. We are literally what we eat. So if you eat crap, that's why you're going to have crap later on. And we're literally building your body the future. Maybe you don't feel it right now, but years from now, your body is within 7 years, I think I read somewhere, you have a completely different cellular, all your cells have turned over. So you aren't like my cells that are in my body right now are not going to be the same cells I have from 7 years from now. I'll have a completely different turnover system. So it's amazing how our body works. We're constantly sloughing off our skin. We're constantly sloughing off our our intestines. And we want to make sure we put good guys in and make them stronger. And then, sometimes people go the opposite with the high proteins, and that causes a lot of stress on the liver to break down. That keto diet was another one that was really hard, and now the research is coming on that was not really good, and we're starting to have effects, the heart problems and things like that from that diet. So we want that sweet spot, everything in moderation, just like, it's everything in life. You want to keep right in that sweet spot. So I had the football field because it's, fall and football season. So, and so here, phases of detox. So the way the liver works, I'm not going to go into technical stuff, but there's like 3 phases of detox. So first, the liver comes in, or what it does is it wants to release, it collects stuff. When toxins come in, it kind of collects it and traps it. Well, what we do for detox, we want it to stimulate. So some of the herbs that are in the pills and the powders is to stimulate it to release those toxins. And they release them, and they have like free radicals released. So first it wants to go, okay, I've trapped these. Now it wants to get rid of them, to get them out, dump into the colon, get out. Well, we need them packaged. So phase 2 is where we need to trap them and bind them up. Okay, so we need to package them, bind them up, that's where the cruciferous vegetables and the greens are very helpful with that. So we want to make sure you're doing that, and then we want to make sure you're having good, getting things out, and so like actually getting into the colon and getting them out. So that's again where we need to make sure we're doing good fiber. So that's your vegetables, those fibrous vegetables and fibrous fruits, to get those, trap them, fiber, get them out. Okay, so that's the 3 phases that we want to make sure we go through. So if you have any issues ever doing a detox and you're not evacuating, you're not pooping, you want to make sure you're drinking enough water. You want to make sure that you want to get that out, because you don't want those free radicals still floating around, because they can cause more damage in the body. So you want to commit and follow through with this whole program to make sure we're going through all these phases. So what's nice about the programs that we've got, we've actually just customized, because like I've said, I've done so many different diets at this point, and they all pretty much are similar, and I've pretty much picked and chosen the best parts of each diet, and we put them into our own little program. So I'm really excited about this, because you can pick what flavor you want, and then we can custom make how we're going to do how you want to do your diet. But the main thing is that 10-day commitment. We have several different flavors and stuff. You can contact the office if you're interested in what we're going to do, what flavors and the costs, because since they're a different program, a couple of different things, we have a little bit of different price ranges for those. But right now in the month of October, it is 20% off, and we'll revisit that for these products. And so, and what's nice is we're going to be giving you the herbs. We're going to give you the cruciferous vegetables in a pill, so you don't have to worry about making sure you're eating tons of broccoli and Brussels sprouts and all that stuff. So kale. So those are the good guys. So one of the things you need to eliminate: trans fats, sugar, refined foods. So we want to actually get in there and actually have real food, real carrots, real proteins, trying to avoid some condiments. So I've had seminars where the doctors couldn't figure out where the person was getting all this sugar or high fructose corn syrup, and they found out they use like a cup of ketchup a day on their stuff, or a cup of ranch dressing. So it's like, great, you're eating your vegetables, but you're just like putting all these trans fats or bad stuff on there, bad fats, bad and sugars. There's a lot of sugar. So this is the point where we talk about reading the labels on things, because they are catchy. They have a lot of these bad things in foods. Even canned beans, I found high fructose corn syrup one time when I went to go buy a can of beans, and I'm like, why do we need that in there? It wasn't necessary. So paying attention to reading your labels and paying attention and trying to go back to real food that's really good for your body, living food. Here, So low carb Mediterranean diet. So the healthy protein, salmon, tuna, healthy protein, poultry. Uh, uh, the female hormone seminar I talked to, she's like, eat the skin. The skin's actually good. We want those that there's that proteins and stuff in the skin. So we went skinless, but we actually want some of that. So again, try to get organic if you are going to do that, because you don't want the toxins from those birds and whatever they put on them. So try to avoid those toxins. Wild game's great because you're going to have a little bit of less toxins. So they're still eating the farmlands, off the farmlands. So that you still might get some of that. Grass-fed beef is really good. And, your beans, your lentils, trying to do those proteins, making sure. Okay, healthy fats. You can do nuts on this. Walnuts, flaxseed, chia, avocados are really great healthy fats, coconut oils. You can make your own homemade dressings. I'm not saying you can't do dressings at all. I'm just saying, or if you can find a nice healthy dressing that is pre-done, just read the label and make sure it's got all good, pure stuff in it. Your fruits and vegetables. So I tell people twice as much vegetables, as fruits. So you can eat unlimited vegetables. I'm fine with that. You're hungry, eat some vegetables, eat another salad, or have another one, like a half of the shake. Is one way I do it. So if you get that craving at night, where you can say, okay, do a half a shake and then settle that craving. You're putting good stuff in instead of going for the ice cream or whatever you reach for. So more vegetables. A lot of people want to reverse that because fruits are really good and they're sweet and everybody likes the sweet stuff. But that sweet does still have its natural sugar in it. So we still want to kind of keep the sugar a little bit low, even if it's natural. So here's what it would look like if you looked at that in your plate. So pretty much I tell people at least almost half your plate as your fruits and vegetables. And, you said 5 to 7 servings. You want this, you want the 2 to 4 protein. But if the shake does count as a protein as well, it's going to be rich in proteins. Making sure, a little bit of grains, the gluten-free grains that you can have. So like your wild rice, your brown rice, your quinoa, some of those ancient grains that are gluten-free. And then again, just the fruits, keeping them on a low thing. So one good thing is look up, I think I got this on I got it on a future slide. I talked about serving sizes, so we'll talk about that in a second. Drink lots and lots of water. Like I said before, we want to eliminate that stuff. We want it packaged and we want it out. We want to get that junk out. So try to do, purified. Everybody asks about the water thing. So I got the consensus. If you do have a reverse osmosis or purified water, and add a dash of sea salt to get some electrolytes back in there. That has been I've come across the theme of the alkaline waters too. Just again, try to drink it out of glass instead of plastic, because plastic also is a toxin. So we have a lot of these microplastics, which has made the news in the last years about how bad that is. So herbal teas are things, so not trying to avoid the caffeine. If you have to do caffeine, I would say you're allowed to do like 1 cup of organic coffee, because 1 is okay, but after that, you're going to start to go to the slippery slope. So if you're going to go off coffee, I suggest to start ahead of time and start to decrease your dose. Otherwise, you're going to get that caffeine withdrawal headache when you go off of it. So that's one thing with my patients I've been dealing with. Yeah, start weaning it off like a week or 2 before if you can, if you're going to do the detox, so you can not have that caffeine headache. You can kind of prep yourself up. But you can have, you can have green tea. Again, I would just suggest 1. There is a little bit caffeine in that. You want to do, you can do the peppermints or any of those non-caffeinated. Those are free game. You can do those. Just make sure you're still doing a lot of water. That's fine, just for a little taste. You can do the nut milks, almond, coconut. You can do those. And again, in moderation, because you got to look at what those are sugars in there too. I try to get that unsweetened, but they still got some natural stuff. Some people ask me about the oat milk. No, we're going to try to avoid some of the grains right now with that. So none on that. And of course, alcohol. Alcohol is a poison. That's why it makes us silly. So alcohol is not good. So it does, the liver that's kind of taxing to the liver. So that is definitely a no-go on this diet. So here's our serving size sheet. So just pull these up. They're, you Google it, it'll come up, or whatever, search it in a search engine. People don't realize, A medium, like an apple, is actually maybe 1.5 servings. A banana is actually, a full banana is actually 2 servings of a fruit. So people don't like, they just think, oh, I grabbed one and that's 1 serving. No, it's actually a handful of blueberries is a serving. So look at what actually is a serving of things, and you'll realize, because it seems like it's hard to reach, but it's really not. If you actually break it down to the servings of what things look like. So there's some things that talk about those. So look those up, and that will help you get through this a little bit better, realizing, oh, I can do this. This is achievable. So if you want to do seasonings, yeah, free game on seasonings as well. You want to season it up. You want to use cinnamon. You want to use, like right now it's fall. I like the pumpkin spice. I've been adding to my protein shakes. But the main thing is look at the labels, try to get an organic seasoning, and make sure they don't use MSG or any of these preservatives in it. Or sometimes they'll put like a gluten or whatever for anti-packing or anti-caking, I mean. So look at that. Make sure it's like a really clean seasoning. So that's one thing. And you can do, like I said, the nuts and seeds of snacks, kale chips. My husband actually will eat kale. He makes kale chips. So it's cool like that. So like I said, I like that crunchy, so that's helpful during the detox. And we already talked about the grains. 1 serving only a day. So you pick which meal you want it. You want it with dinner, you want it with lunch. Figure out what you're serving when you want that 1 grain. So again, quality water, we kind of talked quantity. So I sip water all day. Like I have a glass on my desk. I try to sip water all through the day. If you're just dumping water, it's kind of going to go through you. It's best if you can just kind of drink it through the day. And I also suggest to drink it, try to do as least amount of liquids with meals. And that is because when you drink, it dilutes your digestive enzymes. And so if you're drinking a lot of a beverage, then it's going to be harder for your enzymes to break down that food. So trying to do minimal, as much, little drinks if you're going to do it with meals, but try to drink through the day. Get those good ounces. As far as how much, I still go with like the 8 to 10 glasses, 8-ounce glasses, because it's very simple, and most of the time people can't have trouble reaching that. So I'm not going to go to the new complications of water drinking, but I still go by the old standard. So if people can do that, then we'll talk about maybe doing more. And so movements, like I said, let's get a sweat a little bit. I already talked about that. Make sure you're like going to bed. This is a good time to help reset your rhythm of if you're staying up late. And most of the time in the beginning, most people are like, I'm ready, I'm tired, I'm crashing, because it releases some of those toxins. And so in the beginning, and you actually sleep a little. I've had people say they do sleep a little better. They get a little bit better rest through this once they kind of get going with it. But try to get that 7 to 8 hours of just really good rest to help your body. If you are already got an exercise routine, I'll warn you. I've had people where they realize, oh my gosh, it's definitely doing something, because this is a little harder. I tell them to dial back their intensity at that time too, because the body is dealing with stuff. So kind of dial back that intensity, still exercise, but just maybe not be doing, like if you're a CrossFitter, maybe let's dial that down into more just like doing a bike or run, mild run or jog or walking, milder weights, just kind of cut what you're doing down, so you're not taxing the body and just letting the body go through and get rid of the stuff and rejuvenate. Sleep, mental and anxious stress. So if you can, like I said, first off, if you try to plan it also when it's not a stressful time, like I said, between the barbecues, but also try to make sure you're not doing this like right before a huge event. Like right now I'm planning a big, huge party. And so I'm trying to do this next week next week after that is the party. So I'm going to try to sneak it in and have a week that I know I'm not going to be able to be tempted on anything else. So I want to give it a little bit earlier before that. So I know I'm going to be too stressed and I'm going to fail. So again, try to see if you can do that. If also, like I said, what also helps you not be so anxious is if you have a really awesome accountability partner. Some of this, you guys can help each other, cheer each other on, and also be gracious and help suggest things for each other. So, and part of that, we were talking about is healthy mindset. So thoughts can be toxic. You can't live a positive life with a negative mind. And it's so true. So like I said, what I did, I actually did a little detox myself today when I walked around, and we just like try to clear it out and reset, 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 clear it, clear it. And so sometimes even if I say something negative, I'll say cancel, cancel. No, I'm telling my subconscious, no, that's not right. So talk about what comes out of your mouth, and pay attention what you think about yourself. Because what you think about yourself, your subconscious is going to try to make that happen. And you just spiral down into a negative self-worth. And so you want to spin yourself. This diet has helped a lot of people with their self-worth, because if they've completed it and they are like, I actually took care of myself, and it just makes you feel better, it makes you think better. I've done this so many times. It's just this interesting thing of not only when I'm cleaning out this physical stuff in my life, all of a sudden I want to declutter my house, and I'm like working on like getting rid of toxic relationships. And let's see here. And so just kind of take time to meditate and reset. So that's one thing to do. So just meditate, feels good. So what do we got here? Simple recommendations. We have it all written out. We have a whole booklet that talks about it that we'll hand to you, and what's good and bad. We also have all these recipes that we've accumulated through the years of foods to try and recipes to try to help you along this journey. Okay, and here's our products. So we have a couple of different product lines we're doing depending on what flavor you want to do. And it's great. It provides everything you need, and it can help you with that. And so just to clarify, you don't do just shakes and take pills for this whole thing. You actually need to actually eat and put nourishment in your body. So it's helping you with a lifestyle shift to help you eat healthier and treat your body healthier. So like I said, we got a 20% off on this for the month of October. And we usually do that again. We do it in the springtime. We'll do another month that we'll do it. But right now, it's just for the month of October, 20% off. You can call the office if you want a call to action right now. You can call the office. We do have a detoxification survey. It's a see our toxic survey to just fill out. And if you have a high score on that, that's a good thing. Yeah, it's time for you to do this program. So let's see what else we got. Just like I said, you can call the office, 815-344-0113, or you can text the office number as well and say, hey, I'm interested, and maybe we can get you connected. If you're already a current patient and you want to talk to me about it, just make sure when you make your appointment to let them know so we have a little extra time to talk about it. And what else we got? Oh, if you have interest in just healthy habits, I do have a book on Amazon called The Journey to Vibrant Health. And here's my information. I also have lots of videos on YouTube on just various health topics that I like to help you guys with. So thank you for joining me.